We're down 3 operators today. Between the delivery delays and the public screening at the gates, my guys are ready to walk. We have zero direction.
And we can build blind because the demolition of the old structural industrial site exposed unmarked foundation vaults, and for to redesign the structural frames dynamically, which completely halts our schedule.
With what money, Jordan? The previous leadership completely botched the initial cost estimation. Hazardous waste disposal from the old factories drain our contingencies. Subcontractors are threatening legal battles over scope changes because their payments are delayed.
It gets worse. Heritage groups just filed another temporary injunction. They claim that we're demolishing historical brick facade without environmental mitigation. The media is eating us alive.
Good morning, team. I know all of you are exhausted, but we all need to calm down. We have so many problems to solve right now. And in our first step, we need to do is diagnose the problem. There are 3 main problems that we have. We need to solve about the budget and the schedule. We need also to make people trust us again because madami nang nagiging problema about sa mga bahay-bahay, madaming nagiging problema sa mga tao na nagre-reclam sa mga bagay-bagay. Next, we go into our step 2. We need to analyze. James, give me the numbers. We need a quantitative evaluation.
We're dealing with a lump sum contract layout with our main client, meaning we absorb the risk of this escalating cost unless we prove changes in the scope. I can use regression analysis in our data and price trends in these 6 months, but right now our primary concern is to recognize our subcontractors' cash flow.
Now, let's look at our financial. We need an emergency fund for our operational budget. Can we open a short-term credits to settle the immediate subcontractors' invoices?
If you negotiate an open book credit extension with our trusted subcontractor steel suppliers, we can free up our cash flow and pay our immediate legal threats.
Good. Now, Jordan and Kurt, we need a critical path method network model to fix our other technical activities.
If we break down the task into smaller segments, the unmarked foundation vaults are our bottleneck. It's a critical path dependency. But if we decouple the utility upgrades from the superstructure assembly,
We can execute parallel tracking. My team can perform utility grid upgrades on the north sector, while Jordan resolves the structural redesign.
exactly, we use the deterministic model focusing on the strict time cost trade-off to catch up on the timeline.
The chart looks great, but a beautiful plan won't take a single break if the community blocks our trucks and crew remains completely demoralized.
Kim's right. Without a plan, people will start to quit. That's why good management creates an atmosphere where people can work properly.
How do we do that if they feel like the building of the city?
By fixing our communication flaw. Kurt, you're now linked with Jordan and Kim. We use a participative leadership. Workers will give input, and we will fix it, and we will give them ownership, recognition, and their own clip, and we will give them clear goals. We will show them how we will properly manage it.
And what about the community? The heritage group feels entirely excluded.
Kim, don't react, anticipate. Don't demolish the bricks, integrate them. We preserve history, we save money, and we kill the injunction.
Architecturally, it's viable. It preserves the historic industrial aesthetic which satisfies the historic groups. And it actually saves us a portion of the demolition budget.
If I can take that adaptation to community elders and the media today, I can get the temporary injunction. but it changed the narrative from the corporate displacement to the historic preservation.
Good morning, team. Thanks for joining our short notice. Let's pull up our data analytic dashboard. These are concurrent controls, real-time metrics we're using track if Metro growth is back on track with our standard. Kurt, we'll start with you. Based on the labor productivity chart and safety rate gauged on screen, how's the site productivity this week?
The new goal setting framework worked by wonders by breaking down milestone into specific, measurable, and time-limited weekly targets. The crew knows exactly what's expected. Morale is sky high because we institute an ins- extrinsic reward system bonuses tied directly to beating our safety and timeline targets. Labor, shortage, or gun, our old crew is calling to come back. Jordan.
And structurally, preserving the old factory facade serves as a brilliant engineering compromise. The architectural integration eliminated our demolition bottleneck, cutting 4 weeks of our CPM recovery track.
Financially, our financial ratio analysis proves we are stabilizing. By shifting some risks through revised subcontracts and clearing up the delayed payments via our short-term cost optimization, we reduced our overall variance projection by 15%. We are officially back under our revised budget ceiling.
The injunction was formally dissolved by the courts yesterday. The heritage groups are now volunteering to create a public history exhibit in our central green space. Our public feedback metrics are completely in the green.
Great updates, great updates, everyone. Based on these concurrent controls, Metro growth is officially in recovery mode. Let's continue monitoring weekly and keep communicating. Thanks, team. I'll be sending the meeting notes after you're all dismissed. Today, we officially closed the Metro Growth project. Looking back, we started with delays, budget problems, and process. But because of teamwork, planning, and control, we turned it around. We delivered on time, under budget, and we respected the community. Thank you, Engineer Jordan, Engineer James, and Engineer Kurt, and our Environmental Community Officer Kim. You didn't just finish a project, you built on something we can all be proud of. Thank you, team!